And hello to our air radio audience here. This is Mike Devine
Hello.
of Chorus Radio and Party Dog and Sea Joy. and
Dave Rocks Magic
Dave
and,
Rocks
and my own
Magic
Party Dog Radio.
and Party Dog Radio. Yeah, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Mike is a buddy of ours, and we're planning on doing some stuff together in the future. And we've adopted Party Dog as part of the Air Radio Network. So
Adopt a dog.
yeah,
We've been kind of started already, doing stuff together and whatnot. Not only do we have Don Cherry on the station, Mike on Party Dog Radio is now there.
Monday nights at 6 p.m. Eastern.
There
Don
you go,
Cherry.
right there.
So,
Don Cherry, the one and only.
Want to
Man
introduce
of
our
God.
first Big Daddy Russ Horton, of course Mike Devine, myself, Lee Lake, and Leah Lywood. Welcome to the show once again this week. Our Air Radio news and trivia.
First of all, let's get this.
Yeah, well, as we're talking about Don Cherry, another Canadian icon. We all know Canadian icon, John Candy.
Yeah.
And
Let me turn this around because this has FM 108.
Yeah, we were talking about planes, trains, and automobiles.
Yeah,
and
John
And then
Candy.
we got on to some SCTV stuff and whatnot. Well, Mike Devine actually went to the same high school
Yes, it is.
that John Candy went to. Now you were a couple years apart, obviously.
Yeah. I mean,
More than a couple, I would say.
Yeah, well, what happened was in 1983, he graduated in 68. In 83, I was over at the school, and I was playing in the jazz band, and that was the music for the evening for this alumni thing. And John Candy and Joe Flaherty and a few other people showed up. They had a table.
That's so cool.
Yeah, and I was really big into SCTV in 1983.
Who wasn't?
Who wasn't?
Right.
Who
It was a
wasn't?
Canadian show. And so anyway, he was over there, and I'm
Schmingy
like,
Brothers.
yeah, Schmingy. So I got the idea. I was playing trumpet, so I said, "Here, give me your mouthpiece that goes on the trumpet." So I said, John, come here. Listen, big fan. If I gave you a mouthpiece, could you do the Dr. Tongue 3D thing with us? He was like, yeah, sure, yeah, okay, no problem. So I happen to have the picture from
There it is.
1983 of John Candy and myself.
A very young Mike Devine, I
Wow.
must admit.
That's so
Did you get
cool.
that in there?
And he went right into character.
He went
for
into
the
character.
Picture, didn't he?
I didn't think to
Tell.
go into
now,
character.
that's a pro, man.
He was a pro.
That's
He went
a pro.
Right into Dr. Tongue character, just like that. And thank you.
What an amazing picture.
So yeah, I'm really happy with that. And
That's got to be. You can't put a price on something like that.
No.
it was a wonderful
God,
moment.
no.
Big
And-
fan too, and he was so nice.
And so improvised and all of that. Like that's the cool part too. That he was just so willing to do it.
Yeah.
He's such a genuinely nice, or was. Sorry, I should speak about him in the past tense, but I still think of him because we have such great movies. Like,
Yeah.
Summer Rental, Planes, Trains.
Oh, so many.
All these movies.
Great
that he did,
Outdoors.
the Great Outdoors. Oh my God, what a priceless movie. So Uncle Buck. Oh my God, I
all
love
of
Uncle
them.
Buck.
I don't think he ever had a bad movie.
No,
I
I
don't
think so either.
I can't even think of one that would.
What's the one where he was running around with Aykroyd and they were swatting each other? That was the one where they went out into the woods there.
I think it's
Great Outdoors.
And that
Yeah.
guy gets struck
Great
by
Outdoors.
the guy gets struck by lightning.
Yeah.
No, 9 times. And in the head.
I swear to God, the radio still works. Don't ask me why.
Just
You're Canadian when you can quote John Candy and the Slapshot movie.
well, that.
Oh well.
Of course, the aficionado in Slapshot is not me. It is Bruce Barker,
Yeah.
who
Oh.
knows every line of that
every
movie.
line in there.
Everything.
Hi,
Barks.
Barks. How you doing? Yeah,
Barks,
buddy, right
man.
there.
What's
Good to
up?
see
He
you,
works
Barks.
with you. And,
Well, we normally Russ and I go through everything. So, but this time because we have Mike here with us, we do our news stuff right at the
Yeah, we'll
top.
get
We
that
get
out,
through
right?
that. We breeze through that as much as we can. Unfortunately, this week we've had some deaths.
it's sad. It's a
Sad.
sad week,
Like,
isn't it?
music industry people, when it is that, I think it affects us. I think more than even movies.
Especially
or,
if when
Presenters of their stuff, and then they
Exactly.
go.
And then they're gone,
They're
right?
gone. It's
So
really empty.
it's a shame. Who we brought to you by this week? Big
Over
Daddy?
in Tourism, Saskatchewan, where you
there
can
we
see
go.
your dog walk away for a couple of days there. Buddy.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
See
of
that
course,
tail wagging
that show Corner Gas. That's really the way Saskatchewan is.
It actually
It is?
And
very
that's the
much
way the
so, very
people
much
are
so.
there. Yeah,
Yes,
it's
I've
great.
driven through.
Love
yeah.
Saskatchewan. Now the news this week: Lisa Marie Presley, as you mentioned, daughter of Elvis, has died at the age of 54, and also Robbie Bachman,
I
the
know.
drummer.
Oh,
That surprised the
Drummer,
hell out of me,
yeah.
that one.
Drummer, the co-founder.
Yeah.
Co-founder. He's the one that bought the drums first.
He
isn't
bought
he?
the drums first, and then his
Yeah.
brother went and got the guitar, and then they put it all together. So
And Randy Bachman went on. He was saying, maybe Jeff Beck needs a drummer,
maybe
which
that's
I
what-
think was really cool because of course we lost Jeff Beck too.
That's right.
I mean,
You know.
that's so much has going on. Then you got Biden. What's going on with Biden and all these?
Nobody knows, including him.
Yeah,
Yeah, well,
I know. He doesn't even know what time it is. Never mind anything else.
I've said this to Big Daddy, and I'm going to say it to you. 'Cause I want to see your response on this.
Sure.
Why do they keep electing presidents that have one foot in the grave?
That's right. They're all so old, man.
Right?
No disrespect.
No,
But
absolutely.
this guy's in his late 70s.
Well, I kind of noticed a few things are off.
Yeah.
You know,
You can't help but notice that.
we're losing musicians at the same age that these presidents are. So, like,
And some of them are younger too.
well, that too. Like even Lisa Marie, 54. Like, holy cow, like,
54.
younger than I am, even.
Yeah.
That's crazy. But
And now the girl guides are dropping brownies.
I know.
After,
Why? What are they going to call it?
I can't remember.
Rum and
now.
Coke?
I can't. Yeah.
No.
But,
Yeah.
I mean, come on. We're going a little overboard now, aren't we?
know,
In my
They're
opinion.
brownies.
Bring in Archie Bunker.
Yes.
Exactly.
Gotta bring
Ah,
it
for
back.
crying out! Where's meatheads?
Eat it.
Hey,
Eat it.
Meatheads.
Just
That's
stop it.
actually what Comax likes. You can take the Republicans one then.
Okay, Republicans to investigate after classified files found at former Biden office.
There you
2
go.
batches.
Is somebody planting this stuff?
It's got to be. I think
Yes,
they're. I think they're.
there's gotta be
They must be done with them, and that's when they're going to get rid of them. That's what I
Yeah.
think. There's no proof of that. This is speculation completely.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But you see,
That stuff would be locked away normally.
Yeah, well, Joe Biden said, I take these classified documents very, very seriously. In your garage?
Yeah.
Come
I
on.
mean, man.
They say, oh, well, that's the least likely place they'll look.
That's
It's
right.
still in your garage, man. We're talking about the U.S. of A, as
That's
Archie would say, right? U.S. of A.
That's right.
So, yeah.
American.
Merkin.
American.
So what do we have? Oh, yes.
And the ozone layers
it does
being
it.
restored after a few decades of.
that hole fell. It just
yeah.
fell down into the ocean.
That's
It's
right.
gone.
It's
The
gone,
whole
yeah.
hole.
That's right.
No
Kinda-
more
kinda
hole.
like
So there's some
hemorrhoids.
good news for a
Kinda
change.
It's
like
nice.
the ozone had hemorrhoids, and it just
It just
Well,
went
you
away.
remember those spray cans we used to use? The
God, yeah.
the
But how
Ultra
are the
Band and
UFOs
all
going to
that
get in
stuff.
without the hole?
That's right. They
How are the
gotta
UFOs gonna get in here?
They have to get
Well,
in
they
through a
have
back
big
door
spaceship
somehow.
that turns into a vacuum cleaner.
That's right.
Oh, like
Right?
space
balls. Right?
Got it.
So-
Home in the desert, man.
Damar Hamlin, of course, he's all over the news. The Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, good to hear you recovered. The sad thing that bugs me about this story is that people are now coming out saying because football's such a bad contact sport that's what caused Damar's cardiac arrest and what. No, he had something wrong with him. There was the surgeon that did the work on him came on and said no, he had a congenital heart problem that they didn't know about,
It escaped the radar.
and that can happen.
But it shows you, the power of television and the power of media nowadays. That, I mean, did you see the Cincinnati players? They were as upset. Life. Some things are bigger than sports
Absolutely.
and human life. And there was I posted it on my Facebook of a cartoon of the mascot of the Buffalo Bills and the Bengals together like this.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
Bengals guy is going like this
Yeah.
with there's certain things that are bigger than sport, and that's one of them.
Absolutely, I totally
And
agree.
thank God he's okay. I mean,
When you see the impact, I mean, it was right here.
right in the
And-
middle of his chest.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
right.
it looked so harmless.
And he went like, wow. I
Yeah.
mean, he's going this way, he's going this way at tremendous speeds.
yeah.
That's an impact.
Oh,
And you're
guaranteed.
only built, you're not built to steal.
No.
No,
So
there is,
that is
don't get me
heart-stopping
wrong,
stuff.
There is protection there.
Yeah.
But like you said, the
That's-
impact and speed that they are at, you're
Incredible.
all you're preventing with that padding there is bruising.
Yeah.
Really, that's about it.
And
So,
sometimes if you see it coming, you can brace for it. He didn't see it coming. So
Yeah.
it was just boom, boom.
Yeah.
So yeah, your body's going to respond that way.
What do you
Like I
guys
said-
think about Abby Werner, the 6-year-old who shot his teacher with
Where
his
did he get the
mom's
gun?
His mother's gun.
his mother's gun,
6-year-old.
yeah.
Was
What
it
do you
lying
do
on
with
the
a
coffee
6-year-old
table?
that shoots you? I mean, it's unheard of.
Like what? And this is it. You turn on CP24, CTV News, and all this stabbings that are going on, shootings that are going on.
Yeah,
Where
stop
the-
doing that, guys.
Where the fuck are all these guns coming from? Like,
Exactly.
come on. It's,
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's getting to the point where, I remember we used to go to New York City and you'd be terrified to walk down the street after 9:30 at night Now I'm afraid to go to Mississauga, Toronto, and be
Middle of
there
the
at
day,
9:30
you could
at
be
night.
in a ghost station, a bunch
Yeah,
of
you might get
gals will
stabbed,
attack you.
and It's just what's going on.
Crazy.
Like,
It's pretty weird.
Yeah.
It's kind of strange.
So
It
it's very frustrating, and but at the same time, I'm going to jump a story here because I want to take this one because I was so pumped and jazzed, and Gord Miller from TSN had people's hearts in their throats when Canada clinched the 20th Junior World Gold Medal. The overtime winner was spectacular, unbelievable. It was absolutely beautiful. Way to go, guys, from Team Canada.
Yeah, it was
so
awesome.
proud.
That new kid from the Regina Pats, forget his name now.
Oh, Bedard.
Yeah, he's amazing.
This
Just
kid is
amazing.
unbelievable.
He did the Bobby Orr, man.
He
He
broke-
went from one end to the other. See
He
that game?
broke every junior record
Yeah.
in less games
Yeah.
than anybody else did.
And whoever
Others-
tanks in the NHL is going to get him because he's first up in the new
he's
draft.
first up. So
Yeah.
I just want to say I had to bring that story up because I was so proud of these guys. And like I said, my heart was in my chest, and
Yeah.
I had my daughter and her boyfriend over, and this kid had never seen me watch a hockey game before.
Yeah.
And when they scored the overtime, and I bolted out of that chair screaming and freaking out. I
Funny,
thought-
there we are, grown humans yelling at the TV screen.
I thought he was going to have a heart attack. The
Yeah.
poor guy just about shit his
Yeah,
pants.
I know. It's
So-
and it's something that sports brings to you. It's a great pastime of mine, as you know. Anyway, we're going to skip the sports because there's not a lot going on. The Leafs are still winning, which is good.
That's
Well,
a nice thing.
except for last night.
Montreal,
Well, they won
yeah,
last night.
Montreal
Shit the
shit
bed
the
last
bed
night.
every night they go out there, but,
Yeah,
which is
brutal.
just
Nice little
heartbreaking for
ceremony they
me.
did for PK though.
Yeah, that's nice.
That
Yes,
was a
it
good
was.
little ceremony.
Oh, they're a great organization. Don't we? It's let's get into some rock and roll trivia.
Oh, rock and roll trivia.
All right, here we go.
I'll give
And
the
here's
graphic
something-
for you.
All right, I'll open it up and then we'll just pass it down. You've got all the stuff there. Let's go, rock and roll. Wee Tidbit, and this is all put together by Leah Lywood, by the way, who spends many hours digging up stuff on
Every
people.
day.
This stuff is amazing. When Screamin' Jay Hawkins and his band recorded I Put a Spell on You in 1956, all the musicians were pissed drunk. The performance was mesmerizing, although Hawkins himself blacked out and was unable to remember the session. Can you believe that? And Deborah Harry said this. She was quoted as saying, I could be a housewife. I could be a housewife, I guess. I vacuumed a couple of times. I like that one.
That's a good one.
I couldn't imagine Debbie Harry vacuuming. Could you?
I'm trying to picture it right now.
Actually,
in a, like maid's outfit.
yeah, and a maid,
Oh,
yeah,
I look
that's
good,
right. Yeah,
Even
just,
now?
check.
You know what?
All right.
Hey, we all wrinkle eventually. So
Yeah.
It's,
Give him the Elvis one. Whatever you want.
Yeah.
Oh, you want me to do Elvis? Okay, where is it?
Do Elvis.
A little bit of history and trivia today. Here we go. 1958, the release date of Elvis Presley's single Jailhouse Rock was put back a week after Decca Records pressing plant in the UK were unable to meet the advanced orders of 250,000 copies.
Wow.
Copies.
And back then,
Yeah.
that'd be like 2.5 million now.
Oh yeah.
Easy.
Oh yeah. And you got to remember, these aren't digital copies. These are go to the store and buy one copies. So 250 of those by the thousand. Some of the characters named in the song are real people. Shifty Henry was a well-known LA musician, not a criminal. The Purple Gang was a real mob, and Sad Sack was a U.S. Army nickname in World War II for a loser.
I didn't know that about Sad Sack because you hear him sing
Yeah,
Sad Sack.
Sad Sack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
there you have it.
There you
That's
go.
some Elvisness.
How about the Whiskey A Go Go Lee? 1964.
1964, the Whiskey A Go Go opens on Sunset Boulevard in West Hollywood, California, and quickly becomes the vital music venue. And man, did it ever! Some of the early acts to play the Whiskey include the Animals, the Doors, and Otis Redding.
Wow.
And many more acts went on after that. That was just absolutely insane, and just became that,
So on this day in '64,
And that was back in '64.
Wow.
Open.
to own a time
Open.
machine and just go back,
Yeah.
they could just go there and come back.
Well, when you think about it, Van Halen, Motley Crue, who's the other one? A bunch of LA bands played the Whiskey A Go Go in the 80s and 90s. So it opened in '64.
The most
It
famous,
lasted-
I
it
think,
lasted
is
that
Johnny Rivers. Johnny Rivers played
Wow.
that place.
Yeah.
So
A lot of his hits were recorded there, I think, weren't they?
Yeah,
Something
even
like
Otis Redding, they were recorded there as well.
Very famous.
So would you
spot.
say that the Whiskey A Go Go would be like the West Coast version or answer to New York CBGB?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Or,
So
Club,
East Coast,
or
West
even
Coast.
Club 54 type of thing.
Oh, well, that was a discotheque.
Yeah, Club 54 was another.
That was a discotheque.
It started out as a rock one, Club
Oh,
54.
wow.
But they couldn't get the acts in there because of the heebie-jeebies,
Right. Yeah.
because
That
of the
makes sense.
competition.
That makes sense.
So then Club 54 went to the disco
Yeah,
swinger kind of
that's right. Yeah.
era.
Which it was very
They kind of
successful
went
for
with the
them.
times.
They went, yeah.
They went- they
pretty
bounced,
much.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
Plus they
now
were-
it's a mall.
Plus, they were on the other side of Greenwich
Condominium.
Village as well. So to get
Yeah.
to break that up, that's how they did that. But yeah,
In 1967, this week, the Jimi Hendrix Experience recorded Purple Haze at Delane Lee Studios in London. Hendrix later stated the Purple Haze was about a dream he had and that he was walking under the sea. In concert, Hendrix sometimes substituted lyrics for comic effect. "Excuse me while I kiss the sky" was rendered "Excuse me while I kiss this guy," while gesturing towards his drummer, Mitch Mitchell. And so that's
And-
the story of Purple Haze,
and
where it came from.
so many people
Wow.
got that lyric confused. That
Yeah.
"Excuse me while I kiss this guy."
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yet, when the album came out and it was
Yeah.
written, the lyrics were written on the album. it
This
was,
guy.
"Excuse
Misheard
me while I
lyrics are
kiss
the
this
fun.
guy."
We could do a whole show
But
on
it
misheard
was
lyrics.
actually,
Yeah.
"Excuse me while I kiss this guy."
Yeah.
And then
Well, it
so
does
many
sound like
people-
that, though, doesn't it?
People, well, yeah. Well, it's like she's got electric boobs.
Yeah.
Elton John, right? She's got electric boobs, right?
Or Hold Me Closer, Tony Danza.
Tony Danza.
Yeah, that's a
I
good one,
remember
too.
that, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's when people came out and started saying, no, the lyric is actually "Excuse me while I kiss this guy." People fought it and argued and this and that.
Well,
No, that
it
was
was
actually.
banned. It was banned in certain radio stations
Well,
at
that-
one point
Yeah.
because of the connotation of what it was meaning.
Absolutely.
Wow.
You know?
I didn't know that. I like the backup vocals to Purple Haze. It's Purple Haze.
Yeah.
That's a
They
great
go,
run.
Wake up. Purple Haze. Anyway, I always thought that was funny.
1992, Paul Simon becomes the first international artist to perform in Johannesburg, South Africa, since lifting the UN boycott. Simon had violated the UN ban by traveling to South Africa years earlier to find musicians for the Graceland album, which was an
Great.
outstanding album.
I love that album.
My dad played that album
Oh, it's
so
amazing.
much; it was incredible. And
Title
my,
track.
My mom
My mom did.
got the dance moves down that they would do on stage. My
Yeah.
mom had it was like watching
Wow.
line dancing, right?
What's that song? You Can Call Me Al.
That's
Yeah,
off of that
I-
Graceland album, yeah.
Great,
Here's
great.
something else I can add to that. Back in 1986, when he recorded that album, he because the apartheid was still in full effect, he actually took the African musicians and singers and brought them to New York and recorded Graceland with the African singers and bandmates. So going against the apartheid rule. It was 92 when he went there to perform because it was lifted, but it was 86 where he brought them to
over.
America.
That's right.
So when you listen to Graceland, you're listening to African
You're listening
performers.
to something that was planned.
Yes.
Very well planned.
And here, in a sense, leaving their country illegally, really.
During the
Which is-
apartheid, yeah.
Yeah, very, very cool.
So that's a really that is definitely rock and roll album
Nice
right
little
there.
added tidbit there.
Tidbits.
It's a sad
Thanks,
week in
Doug.
history
Mike
because
Devine.
we lost David Bowie this week at the
Yeah.
age of
Oh,
69
that's
after an 18-month battle with liver cancer. A statement posted online explains that David, who'd kept his condition a close guarded secret from the public, died peacefully surrounded by his family, which is nice to know. The performer, who was living in New York City at the time of his death, released the album Black Star only 2 days prior to his 69th birthday. He didn't even make 70, huh?
Yeah.
While Bowie continued to record music and tour up until 2004 when he suffered a heart attack backstage at the Hurricane Festival in Germany. This is stuff we didn't know, I guess, a lot of people about David at the time, that he was having health issues. But you think of David Bowie as this giant figure, you know, you don't
Well, he
think of
was.
somebody
He
with
was, yeah.
who
The guy,
was
the
just
guy
a,
reinvented himself how many times?
yeah, I know.
So many times.
You know,
Ziggy Stardust.
Ziggy Stardust, then he went into the
Mars.
rock,
Yeah.
into the rock, and then the dance music with Let's Dance.
With the Nile Rodgers, Bernard Edwards production.
Yeah.
And he was also very good friends with Peter Frampton.
Oh,
Him
he
and
was, huh?
Peter Frampton and him grew up together.
I didn't know that.
That when Bowie died, Frampton was a mess. Very close friends.
Yeah,
Wow.
well, he went into
And not
full
many people know
depression
that.
and the whole bit.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing an interview with him.
Yeah,
and his son.
he
Peter
took
Frampton
it.
had the biggest live album selling of all time, still
About-
does, and he was depressed.
Yeah.
Oh, he went into a full
Yeah.
bad state, and
He should
Yeah,
have
I
been happier
saw
about
it.
his album.
there's an
Yeah.
interview with him and his son on Prime, and really, really eye-opening to what goes on in the music business that a lot of people just still today don't talk about. There's a lot of taboo stuff that they don't talk about, and Peter does. He talks about it, and it's a really intense interview. It's really, really good. So,
Well, what's going on here now with the
in
wee
an
tidbits?
attempt to fool internet piracy, advanced copies of Coldplay's 2005 album X and Y were credited to the Fir Trees.
I didn't know that either.
No, very cool.
What was Elton John's first job?
Yeah, he was a T-boy at Mills Music Publishers.
A T-boy.
A
What the
T-boy.
hell is that?
That's where
What
it
is
comes
a
up
tea-
in tea bags.
It brings out it comes to- like the tea
comes up
lady
in-
in the Monty Python.
It just comes up in tea bag. You're in
Yeah.
the Stones.
Remember that Monty Python, the tea lady?
And now for something completely different.
Oh, here we go. There we
We'll
go.
let Mike take 1949.
Yeah.
49 vinyl record format. War heats up as RCA introduces the 45 RPM record. One song per side instead of the rest. It eventually replaces the 78 record for singles, one song for each side, as mentioned. The format takes off in the early years of the rock era, and of course, Alan Cross, the journal, musical things, that's where that article comes from. Listen to or definitely check out Alan Cross. He's a
Oh,
guy's
you ever-
encyclopedia.
Oh yeah.
The guy's insane, isn't it?
He knows
Yeah.
everything.
Like it's just, and his delivery is brilliant. Just
Yeah.
absolutely
Well, you guys
brilliant.
were talking about that before.
And
The image that I have on the post that we do on our Facebook page is actually those pages from that journal for that
Wow.
piece.
no,
Yeah.
that's very cool. And you ever get a chance to listen to Alan Cross? He's across tons of stations. You can find him all kinds of
Definitely.
places.
You will
listen to
always
him.
learn.
If you are a trivia or history nut, check out Alan. Absolutely.
And he's been doing it for like at least 25 years.
at least.
At least.
1969, Lee.
Frustrated by a film crew recording the Let It Be sessions and plans his bandmates are getting ready for a concert he wants no part of, George Harrison quits the Beatles, writing in his diary, got up, went to the Twickenham, rehearsed until lunchtime, left the Beatles, went home. He's lured back a few days later with assurances that the concert would be canceled and his wishes were respected. So,
A lot of turbulence with the Beatles.
There
in the
was,
60s,
you know,
late 60s.
the late '60s, the turbulence there was.
Well,
Everybody blames it on Yoko. No, there was a lot of shit going on.
Well, John could be a bit of a dick sometimes.
You know, and
I mean,
John and Paul would
no
get
one's
at it.
perfect though. Oh, I love John Lennon.
And-
don't get me
and-
wrong.
and there's
I was born the
interviews-
same day as him.
There's now interviews out that have come out in the last year or two of Paul being bluntly honest on what really happened.
Oh, really?
Oh
They're
yeah.
regular
here?
people. They have
Oh
ups.
yeah. He's talking about how him and John and calling each other assholes.
Oh
and
yeah,
dick
that was.
and it just dissolved and you have a lot of creative genius there.
Well, John actually wrote a song about his disdain for McCartney.
Yeah.
For a short. When he died, he was a good. Thank God they were in good terms because
Well,
friends
by
go
that
through
time,
that
yeah.
stuff.
By that
they
time
go
they-
through that shit. They're friends,
Yeah,
right?
by that time they'd mellowed out and they'd calmed down, but
Yeah.
you know, McCartney.
like 10 years later.
McCartney had Wings. John and Yoko were doing their own thing.
And they all
but-
had hit albums at the time.
Exactly, they had hit tunes and whatnot. So they'd mellowed out by the time that John had got shot. But you know, this interview I saw with Paul was wow. I was quite shocked.
Yeah.
on
Well,
what
he's
he was
opening
commenting
up.
on.
The older he gets, he's opening up more
Well,
too.
well,
that people
exactly.
should know.
Why?
Well, and the thing is, it's not like you're hurting a lot of feelings. Maybe Yoko, but you know,
Yeah.
it's there's not going to be no more rift there.
Well, I know we were talking about Jimi Hendrix a little while ago, but I saw an interview recently with Paul McCartney. He to this day, his words about Jimi Hendrix aren't really that great. I was
No.
surprised.
No, and
when
this
I
is
saw
why I
that.
say
He's,
that.
he's truthful with what
Yeah,
he says.
He's very truthful,
He's
honest.
gotten to the point now. I think, like Russ,
Just doesn't
Big
care.
Daddy was saying, and is that you know what? I'm so fucking old. I don't care.
It doesn't matter anymore.
Doesn't
Hey,
matter
You're
anymore.
you're gonna get along with people, and then you're not. I mean, that's the way life is. This week in 1999, The Sopranos debuts on HBO. One of my favorite shows. I love Sopranos. I could jump right into that show and I just love it. But Bruce Springsteen's guitarist Steven Van Zandt, he played Silvio Dante, a character he modeled on his relationship with Bruce. Unlike most of the Tony Soprano's inner circle, Silvio doesn't want to be the boss, but he did appear in The Sopranos.
Yeah.
So there's something I didn't know about. Another thing you dug up, Leah, from and we'll give him the wee tidbit with 73. There you go,
Well,
Keith Richards.
Rolling Stones, big fan.
Oh,
Keith
yeah.
Richards, he's been around before the Bible. He's still jamming.
He's
and
old as dirt.
He's really old. So old that back in 1973, he got guilty, well, he was guilty of trafficking in France. He was fined 5,000 franc. I don't know what that becomes in Canadian dollars, but I'm thinking
Bit
it's
of
a
money.
lot. You know, it's a chunk of change, but these guys are rich anyway, right?
Yeah.
Banned from entering France for 2 years, Mick Jagger quoted as saying, "Keith Richards is the original punk rocker. It's just pointless to try and out-punk him."
That's true, man.
He's right. I can't
yeah.
do an imitation of Mick, so I can't do it like him, but that's what he said.
Oh yeah. Well,
It would have been much more distorted if I tried to imitate it.
And
He's got a thick accent.
this one I did know, but I'm surprised how many people did not know this one. It's unknown that Crystal Gale was Loretta Lynn's little sister.
I knew
What?
that because I was
Yeah.
in radio. Yeah.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's
Yeah.
I
right.
didn't know that.
Yeah.
Get out of
And
here.
see, we pulled one on him.
There was
Damn.
Beautiful
I think
hair,
it was
beautiful
12,
hair.
I think it was 12 years difference. between
Yeah.
them.
Yeah,
12
there
or
was a good space.
Don't it
Yeah,
make
it's
my
well-
brown eyes blue?
I love that song.
Oh, it's a
It's
great song. A little bit of history and trivia as well. From 1970, during a UK tour, Led Zeppelin appeared at the Royal Albert Hall in London on the night of
say.
Jimmy Page's 26th birthday. John Lennon was there, along with Eric Clapton and Jeff Beck, who we just lost, all in the audience. The 2.25-hour set was recorded and filmed, but shelved for several decades, eventually seeing a release in 2003 on an official DVD. And that is something if you get a chance to see it. I've seen it 3 or 4 times.
It is.
Look at who's in the audience, though, you know.
Just
Jeff
sitting and
Beck,
watching.
Clapton, John Lennon, like, imagine that.
That's a museum of musicians
Oh,
right
yeah.
there.
Just amazing.
Museum of Musicians. Good. Nicely done.
Thank you.
Nicely done.
Sinead O'Connor named Worst Dressed Woman of 1990 in Mr. Blackwell's annual list.
Best hair.
Yeah, yeah.
Not.
What hair?
Yeah, what here?
All right, jump into a wee tidbit. We're going to give this one to Mike.
Okay. Well, here we are now. Entertain us. That would be a lyric. What Kurt Cobain would say whenever he entered a party in order to break the ice.
Yeah, it's a good way
I
of
didn't
breaking
know that, but
the
it became one of the biggest lyric of their biggest song.
That's right.
Here we are now. Entertain us. Wow. Okay.
That's right. Did you hear about the baby that wanted to sue the guys?
Yeah.
the
Right.
album cover.
One of the snowflake guys.
Give me a break, man.
Yeah.
Come
that
on.
didn't work out.
No, it
not-
didn't.
Not well.
It
Not
didn't.
well.
No, I just wonder how hard David Grohl laughed.
Yeah.
How hard did
Oh,
he laugh?
God, yeah.
Oh, that's
And
ridiculous.
here's the funniest part: that the guy that was trying to sue, well, he was on board with the album cover because he tattooed it on his person.
That's right.
And then he was, I guess he was listening to his Snowflake friends. He's like, "You could make a lot of money suing." You signed off on it, buddy. There's no going back.
And guess what? Your mom signed off on it, not even you. So
Yes.
Joe Walsh is a lifelong fan of amateur radio, ham radio, and
What?
holds an amateur extra class amateur radio license.
Yep.
And station call sign is WB6ACU.
that is
Oh,
very
cool.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
That
eh?
is cool. I did not know that one. Big 68 there, Mike.
All right, Gibson Guitars patents and launches its Flying V electric guitar. Guitarists who played a Flying V include Albert Collins, Jimi Hendrix, Mark Bolan, and Billy Gibbons from ZZ Top.
Oh, I love ZZ Top.
Those flying guitars, man.
I think Hendrix's episode throwing one into an amp is what he's most known for.
Oh, yeah.
Monterey.
Yes.
Some of those guys had tempers. Like
Oh, God, yeah. Well,
Hendrix
plus,
had a
plus the
temper.
drugs and alcohol involved
That's
that's
right.
going on, too. It's
Pete
just-
Townsend, he destroyed many things.
Oh, God, yeah. Keith Moon.
Keith Moon.
No,
never
he's a
mind, Keith
nutter.
Moon.
Rolls
Keith's a
Royce, maybe?
nutter.
I was a nutter.
Nutter.
I say.
1975, Pink Floyd started sessions at Abbey Road Studios, London, for their next album, Wish You Were Here. Their ninth studio album was released on the 13th of September, 75.
12.
Features, 12th September. And it features, of course, Shine On You Crazy Diamond, a tribute to Sid Barrett,
Yes.
whose mental breakdown had forced him to leave the group 7 years earlier. Sid was a very talented musician.
Mental breakdown is an understatement.
Oh,
That poor guy.
yeah, he went through hell, didn't he?
Yeah, it was unfortunate. And the only reason I corrected him is because somebody online is going to go, oh no, it was a 12.
Yeah.
Oh.
Right.
So
Yeah.
we did it for you.
Yeah, exactly. I caught it for you.
So stop
don't-
typing.
Yeah.
Stop typing to correct.
Yeah,
Stop typing
please.
to correct.
Sitting there with the crack of your ass showing
He's a
there.
keyboard cowboy.
Oh,
was
tell
And
us
keyboard
all again.
cowboys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
Karen
right.
and Chad's out there, man, I'll tell you.
1975, the mayor of Boston canceled Led Zeppelin concert after over 2,000 fans rioting, trying to buy tickets. The fan caused an estimated $50,000 to $75,000 damage at the Boston Garden, and the gig during the band's North American tour was rescheduled for February 4th. So,
Wow.
at least it wasn't like the Cincinnati thing where we have people died and yada
For the
yada
Who.
yada.
Yeah.
The Who concert,
Yeah.
right? So.
Well, there wasn't a whole lot of love.
Here's a song.
Ooh.
Here's a song
So we
that
did that.
FM 108 plays. I don't know if the Party Dog plays it, but
Which one?
The Village People scored their only UK #1 single with YMCA. At its peak, the single was selling over 150,000 copies a day.
song.
In the gay culture from which the group sprang, the song was understood as celebrating the YMCA's reputation as a popular cruising and hookup spot. But what an amazing song, and I still
Okay.
love it. You know, I look back at it, and it was.
You can play that at pretty much any wedding today.
And
still.
you'll get them going, man.
And it's still a
I
floor
like the
saver.
Indian myself. I did like the Indian, I must admit.
Yeah,
you
but the,
remember the
the
Indian was?
YMCA actually took them to court
Yeah.
and then realized
Did they
that
really?
they could actually use it to their benefit. It was
Wow.
dropped, and they used it in other ways.
Wow,
Yeah, smart.
That makes sense.
Smart.
unbelievable.
Well, we're gonna let Mike do the last one.
Oh, okay.
2017.
2017.
Not that long ago.
Not that long ago. You would think so, but I think, the summer of 69, 2069 is actually closer than 1969.
Oh, I
Yes.
know. Don't start me off on
All right,
that.
Norway. Let's go back to Norway. Announcing that it would become the
Let's not make
first.
people's brains work.
Whoop. First country in the world to gradually stop using FM radio. What?
right, that's
The
right.
move,
Yeah.
which aimed to ditch the analog platform in favor of digital, called the digital audio broadcasting, which would bring a clearer sound to the nation of 5 million people. Did that pan out? Are they still offering?
Europe does not have AM radio anymore.
No.
They don't have that,
No.
and FM is used for emergency broadcast system only.
Wow.
That is all
No
it is
tunes?
used for.
In England, they have.
Well,
FM.
yeah, not Europe, but I mean,
But in Norway, they have
Norway.
nothing. Yeah. Yeah.
Norway did abolish FM. It is what we would think of as AM. It is emergency broadcasting only, and
So no pirates.
And we've talked about this in this
Well,
show and
radio's
our other
morphing.
show.
Radio is morphing
This is
into
why
another.
we are going to an online format,
That's right.
whether it comes down to Radio GTA, FM108.ca, Party Dog Radio that Mike runs, and our other station, Halton Hills Online. We are going to a digital format, and they're great formats. FM108.ca, your 50s to
32.
your 70s. You've got Radio GTA with our mainstream radio, our air radio news that we're doing here today. And then you got Mike Devine with Party Dog Radio.
.com.
.com.
And we're going to put this big mash together and figure out what we're going to do. And that's the reason Mike's here, as a matter of fact, is to
Yeah.
talk about some radio and some interesting endeavors that we're going to get into in the future together.
Yes.
And by the way, if you're a salesperson and you're looking for a job, give us a call. We have something very special to sell, don't we? We really do.
We do. We absolutely do.
The next generation of radio is just around the corner. It's not here
it's
yet.
Here. No, it's here.
That's
we're
here,
seeing
yeah,
it's here.
it's here.
We're seeing
It
it's
just
here
needs to
now.
explode more.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Because we
That's
got some really cool programming. It's
Yeah.
on 24/7 and it's free to stream.
Yeah.
So with
That's
hardly
it.
any commercials at all, like you would
Now,
hear on the others.
People
So
are so worried about missing their news, whether in sports, and I think that radio is so magical that people want a companion. They don't want to listen to an iPod all the time. I like to have somebody
you
on
need to
the
still
air,
have that
a
reality.
presence. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Of a pal. I mean, you look at the way the big guys like Wolfman Jack, Rock and Ray, Mike Devine. Big Daddy, I'm your best friend. We are your best friend.
Barks.
We're not Barks. I mean,
Barks.
when you're on the air, people know. You know,
Well,
I learned from Wolfman Jack
they
because I knew Wolfman. I met him a
too.
few times.
Oh, yeah?
And so did you. Wolfman, oh yeah.
You knew
Fine.
Wolfman?
I used to be
Yeah.
I used to. There's more
That's how
DNA.
old- that's how old
There's
he is.
more of my DNA on the chum window than Terry Steele's. I used to lean in and look at Dick typing there and everything else. But I got to know some of the guys there on Sunday,
man.
and I got
He's
to
2
meet
degrees
them.
away from the American Graffiti movie.
There you
2
go.
degrees. That's a good way.
2
to look at
degrees
it.
because he was on that movie.
Oh, I just love Wolfman.
Wow.
And I learned
Touching
from
you
him.
now.
I learned from him one thing that he taught me by listening to his air checks and his stuff was he was your best friend. That was Wolfman.
Yeah.
That was your buddy sitting there playing tunes for you in the living room.
And
That's
he was
right.
very similar on radio as he was
That's right.
off radio.
When he talked to you, not a million people.
babies, I
What I mean?
it's a Wolfman Jack coming at you.
The whole, and he talked, and his whole demeanor was fun, rock and roll, which is what I do, which is what you do.
Yeah.
That is, people
about the
want
fun.
that. They want an escape. They don't want to hear. If you live in a one-room house with a leaky tap, you don't want to hear a radio station from a one-room house with a leaky tap.
No.
You want to hear something like on my show. Cartoon characters drop in all the time. You never know. Could be a potato with a stick, Peter the piano player with a polyester tie,
Could be any of those.
or whoever those guys. Those guys are real, and they'll show up here, but they always stay below of the camera there because we can't afford to put them on. They want too much money.
Then we got to pay them.
Yeah, it's
And
like,
we
you
can't do
know, union.
Yeah,
There's
exactly,
like
yeah.
scales and
yeah, it's
it
not
can get
worth
pretty expensive after a while.
But
So
I mean,
stay down there, guys.
On Party Dog, I mean, you know, any bars out there? You want live party music on the weekends, right? I'm talking live to air.
Check them
right?
out on
We're
Facebook.
talking
We got a great
Party Dog.
Facebook
This is
page.
the man, the live to air king of Canada, right here.
We've done quite a few of them, yes.
Of course you have. You're the king of them. You and Wayne Williams.
Oh, Wayne.
And
Love him,
what's
man.
the guy that's at Buzz or not Buzz? I get 103.5. What's his name?
Where's Tony Monaco over there?
Tony Monaco.
Yeah, just Scott Turner, who's
Yeah,
over
Scott,
at
who's an
Scott
amazing
92.
radio guy.
Scott does a
Light
great
92.
job too. Yeah.
He's amazing.
Well, he's Mr. Radio.
Yeah.
Scott Turner.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
over at Light 92 now.
Yeah.
All right, we want to thank everybody for
Yeah.
tuning in. We've got who
Yes.
was brought to you by, my friend?
Brought to you by Tourism Saskatchewan, where you can see your dog walk away for 2 years.
Absolutely,
And
see him come back. For
that's
2
right.
years at
But
the
it's
same time.
it's a super place to be. Very down to earth, beautiful countryside. The wheat fields, the cornfields.
Definitely.
That's the breadbasket of Canada, buddy.
Big Daddy
Yes.
Russ Horton, Mr. Mike Devine from Party Dog Radio. I'm Lee Lakin in Leah, Iowa as well. Thanks for tuning in. Have yourselves a great week. Please don't drink and drive. Be safe out there. And check us next week right here on Air Radio News.
Oh, that's such a sexy chime. I just think
Nailed that one.
I have to do that now. You see, she won't let me
Yeah.
get away with it now. I have to go your way.
And we just trained them to do the other one.
Yeah. Yeah. They keep their.